are live. We've just witnessed a disappointing defeat to Arsenal, 2-1 away from home. Not deserved. I'm joined by Luke and Dan. I'll just cut straight to yourself, Luke, because obviously myself and Dan were on the Matchday Live that we've just done.
Yeah.
Disappointing, mate.
I'm gutted. Absolutely gutted. There's no other word for it. I'm gutted. That was a performance that I think every fan can be proud of. That's all we asked for fundamentally from a West Ham team. Is that they perform as a unit. They try their hardest. They never say die pretty. That's what's really annoying. I think I texted my brother about 10 minutes before they scored, actually saying the goal's coming, because we were looking dangerous. We were cutting along the wings. They played a few deep. They were playing a few passes in the middle, but they weren't getting very far after that. That was everything that Newcastle wasn't. We were just organised. We were organised. We were strategic. We weren't desperate to kick the ball up straight up the field. We were playing it around nicely. It was a very even game. And look, it's little margins, as they say, that end up costing you. And it's costed us tonight. I must admit, I screamed offside without realising that Nketiah was behind the ball when it was played for the winner, which is a bit. I've got to sort of look at that a bit more, but that's my emotions going over. But the performance was brilliant. The result, shit.
So what are those margins that you're talking about? Are we talking about tactical decisions? Are we talking about is it tactical, or is it just down to the game itself?
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the fact that we brought off Bowen, who was our main workhorse on that wing, and we replaced him with Yarmolenko. And if you see Saka's run, or Caballes's run, and Saka's ball to Caballés for their winning goal, Yarmo completely lets him go. He's not with it at all. In fact, actually looks like Masuaku does when he defends. He's not got that. He's like a rabbit in headlights. And Bowen, in my opinion, if Bowen was still on, if he wasn't taken off, he would have stopped that. And that's the difference. The problem is, everyone's saying, Moyes is making his subs too late. Fair enough, but our whole unit as a team, we look so strong. Almost, I didn't want us to make a sub because we looked that strong, we looked that good, and it was as soon as he come off, I thought we're going to suffer it because we're looking like we want to go for it, and Arsenal will sniff fresh meat as soon as they think we're going for the win a little bit, and it's what happened. And that's what fine margins is the fact that Yarmolenko did. I'm not blaming him; he was only on for 10 minutes. You can't blame him that much, but fundamentally for me, I think if Bowen's on, he stops that run, and they don't get that chance. That's
you look at the starting lineup, and myself, Dan, me and you were on the Matchday Live. I mean, there was elements of disappointment. I think me and you went through the emotions of a West Ham fan, which was disappointment from team selection. Then we witnessed the first 20 minutes, which were fantastic by West Ham. Arsenal found themselves back into the game, but we came back out in the second half and performed exactly like what West Ham fans want as a unit, like Luke says. What is it that... What is it that really does go wrong for West Ham? Like, what's your opinion on it?
Well, I think subs. I think we get tired. There's like subs. It's been an issue for a long time. We're either panicking and defending, or we're confident and going forward. This game we kind of found a balance, but there was just points where it didn't get through. Do you know what I mean? It just went the wayside, and the ball found its way through to us. I think the players all played well, but the whole game is about putting that little round ball in that rectangular box. And there's 10 players there that have got to protect that goal.
Would you not take a draw, Dan?
Oh, I would have taken a draw before kick-off. I'd take a draw now. Definitely. I would. No matter how we played, I would have respected the point. And I thought we was going to get that point. And I would have loved it. Yeah. It was a good game. We deserve something.
But the game was genuinely there for the taking. We were on the up. We could see it. The pundits could see it. Arsenal looked like they were feeling the pressure.
I can see it.
I think when you look at things like the stats, you can see that West Ham outshot them in the second half. Possession, it was again, higher towards Arsenal, but we were the attacking threat. Now, I think I said during the match day live that at one point I thought the only player that looked like they were lacking anything, was Fornals. Therefore, I didn't see the harm in potentially maybe. I'm not doing him a disservice. I'm doing him a disservice in terms of being the only player that massively didn't contribute to our attacking threat. Therefore, I thought, what would have been the harm to potentially bring on either Yarmolenko, Lanzini, or Anderson a good solid 25 minutes before they did. That's what could have made the difference. And that's the difference, like you said, the small margins of sometimes the reason why West Ham don't get a result or don't even get a point. We worked so hard tonight to walk away with absolutely nothing. And I can't help but think that falls upon the manager's decisions that he makes.
I know. It's funny because I'm about to say, well, we were such a tight knit unit. I can understand why Moyes didn't want to make subs at certain points, but it is kind of it's a pattern that continues with Moyes. He doesn't like making subs too early, and I'm not. My opinion, the selection wise, I fully blame the board for not giving him the chance to bring more players in, thus making his life a bit easier when he's making team selections and stuff. But having said that, possibly he should have done, and maybe if he had done, it would make the difference. I personally think the defence played well tonight. I've got to say that. I think they were really unlucky to concede the way they did. Diop and Ogborn had their best game for a long time. I never really felt like Arsenal were all over us. I didn't feel like particularly nervous when they got near our goal. And it's just a shame. Anderson didn't play that badly, to be fair, when he came on, and neither did Haller. But like you said, it's only 5 minutes to do anything, really. And we weren't, even though we were pushing players up, we were trying to get near their area, we were trying to push on. There wasn't really enough time for them to have an impact. So maybe he should have made subs earlier on, but I can kind of see why he wouldn't have done tonight, to be fair.
Absolutely. Well, Dan, in the first 25 minutes, West Ham were pressing the Arsenal defence, pressing the Arsenal team. They were trying to play the ball out short from the keeper. Bang, we had 4 or 5 West Ham players putting the pressure on, putting the defence under panic. They couldn't really cope, and we were really on the up. But then, just 5 minutes before they scored their goal, I think me and you were talking about West Ham playing a high defensive line, and sometimes you can do that. Maybe sometimes against maybe players that don't have world-class strikers on their side, but when you're up against the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang, they feed off of the defenders trying to play them offside. And when the player fed the ball through, penetrated our defence, bang, Aubameyang found himself in space, put that perfect ball onto Lacazette's head, and bang, there was a goal. And that's what dropped the confidence. Now, yes, okay, West Ham could have lost their confidence, but why? What is it that we can go into a game in particularly the first half, and does it not absolutely drive you insane, mate, that we can be on the up and not capitalise on it?
Yeah, I mean, the first 20 minutes, the game was for the taking. We thought, actually, we've got to chuck this in. We started off pessimistic, but as the game progressed, and you mentioned about the high line, and if you remember, I said to you, the trouble with playing a high line is Arsenal are good and known for playing through balls and beating an offside trap. And it's exactly what they did. They come down our right-hand side, put the ball through, and again, it came. And from then, when did they score? Like the 25th minute, something like that?
25th
checking
minute,
that, 25th minute. Was it Aubameyang put it through Lacazette and it went in? And from then up until half-time and beyond, they kept trying to get down that same channel, trying to bring our players forward. At that point, they'd gone back, but the game had slowed down enough that our players weren't pushing forward, and it looked like we was going to settle for a point.
Yeah.
And then obviously Antonio scored.
Well, just about to say so.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to Antonio, right on the mark of half time. I think it is Bowen that collects the ball in the middle of the park. Souček over to Bowen, and then Bowen attacks along the wing. Fredericks makes the crossover run. It's a great ball in from Fredericks, to be fair. Antonio makes that striker's instincts run into the 6-yard line, taps the ball into the back of the net. I'll hold my hands up, and I said, I think I spent 5-10 minutes before that part telling all the fans on the channel that, I love Antonio. I love him to bits. I don't want to drop him, but I think we should try and figure a way of how we bring Haller onto the park. Bang, he steps up with another goal, his ninth Premier League game. Look, I mean, we are relying on a non-striker to be our striker. Again, do you think we need to start making movements to try and bring in Haller to the team?
Yeah, we could do, but it's who you sacrifice and who you want to put in that midfield, because if you can't really put a 4-4-2 in a way, because you've got Rice and Souček in the middle, and they're too similar, and you kind of need them two to be in the middle because they do their job effectively. But then if you go on the wings, you need someone like maybe Anderson, because Fornals isn't a winger, or Masuaku played quite well tonight. But do you play Antonio there and then Bowen on the right and then bring Haller up and then maybe another striker? Or do you put Antonio and Haller up top and then who do you put on the wings? You put Anderson and Bowen. That's a way to go, but then you're missing something in the middle. You're missing you've got a lack of creativity in the middle. Yeah. Or do you put Antonio on the wing and put Haller up top? The fundamental problem is, and like I said before, just a while ago, unless he brings through one of the youth players, which you could do, you could have some faith in youth players. The guy who's scoring all the goals at the minute in the youth team, if Sunday Silva gets a chance, fair enough. I'm not against that. If he wants to go and put some faith in the youth, I'm all about that. But fundamentally, I don't think he wants to take the risk. And maybe send a message to the board as well, saying, look, I've got no money to bring in a new striker or a midfielder. So it's almost like need must. Look, if Antonio gets injured, we've got Haller. That's all we've got. That's it. And if Haller gets injured, we've only got Antonio. So we've let Ieta go, we've let Hugo go. So it's a lack of options. And for me at the moment, he's all about compacting the midfield. But I ain't being funny. Who scored the goal tonight? And aside from that, yes, Haller could have scored it as well, no doubt. But then we're saying he's not a striker. Arnautovic wasn't a striker when we signed him. He was a winger. But we made him into a striker, and we're making Antonio into a striker. And Antonio.
So are you saying then we need to stop saying, and you could be completely right, and I may agree with it as well, that we need to start referring Antonio as a striker. I mean, how can we not now? To be honest,
I fundamentally, I ain't being funny. Gareth Bale started out as a left back, and he's now one of the best wingers in the world. Masuaku was bought as a left back. We played him as a left winger tonight. Just because players are bought in a certain position doesn't mean to say they can't be changed and put into another position. Yeah. I think Aubameyang was signed as a striker and kept playing left wing when he first signed for Arsenal because they didn't have to put Lacazette and him in the same team. So, Antonio in a striker, but he played there for Nottingham Forest as a striker. And last season he played as a striker towards the end and he scored all the goals to keep us up. So, fair enough, he's not an instinct striker, but at the same time, he can play there and he scores goals. So
let's get on to another player that a lot of fans.
So let me just come in, and we're going to do the same to Souček and try and make him to a striker. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
He's a salmon in the box. Ronaldo ain't got nothing, that boy in the box. He's a lucky one.
That is the next one. They will try. If there's injuries, they'll turn Souček into a striker. Yeah, exactly. I can see it.
We're not signing more players, are we? So we might as
well. But imagine we did that though, and look at the gap we'd have in the midfield, and I don't think we can afford that gap.
We've got a lot of midfielders. We can lose one midfielder to a striker.
The difference he makes though in that midfield is unbelievable. To be honest, he completely offers us. He just calms it all down, and they've got this really strong unit between them where they protect each other. One goes forward, the other one stays back, etc. But the one player I do want to talk to you about, which is the West Ham fan base, is split right down the middle, is King Arthur himself, Masuaku, who. Come on, Luke. Come on, give us your.
I am gutted that Stell wasn't on here tonight, and it's not the fact that I wanted. It's not the fact that I want to rub it in his face. It's not that bad. I just want to know his verdict on it because what me and Richard have been gagging for him to do is play on the left wing, or at least be given his chance to play on the left wing. And what happened tonight? He played on the left wing, and he played bloody well, or technically left wing back because Chris was meant to be a centre back, wasn't he? So I personally think he had a great game. He didn't do anything wrong. He was always an option on the left when he attacked. You know, he never got tackled. I couldn't. Oh, go on, Dan. What are you laughing about?
Go on, Dan.
It's Ogbonna all over again. Ogbonna couldn't make the grade. You know, he wasn't good enough, and all of a sudden he switches it around. And for me, he was player of the season last year. And it's Masuaku. He's a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know. Is he going to turn it around? You know, are we all going to regret what we were saying? Are we going to be eating our words? Because he had a fantastic game. I said before the game, that's ridiculous. It's like they're saying, put him in defence and he keeps going forward.
Yeah.
We'll show him. Let's put him forward and see how he likes it. He keeps going there anyway. Let's stick him there. Play the blinder.
Yeah.
Played an absolute blinder. And not only that, he spent more time tracking back in defence than he would have done if he was played as a defender.
It's a freedom roll, isn't it? It's a freedom roll. He could have had assist. He'd put it straight on Antonio's head, and Antonio goes and hits the bar.
Yeah.
Another unlucky one.
Crazy. I mean, did he have another one as well that ended up? It was Antonio put it down and he got trapped. Just hit the keeper's legs. Very close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, have you know, sometimes you allude to it, sometimes when we do the Matchday Lives, about the positioning recently in particular of Fabianski. Have you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. I don't think he was to blame for the first goal. He tried to make himself big, got in front of the player, but it come across him and it was a tap-in. It was one of those annoying goals where you play your mate against FIFA and he does it to you 5 times in a game, you lose 5-0 and you never play that Burke again because it just upsets you so much. Cheap, tacky goal. But it's all right in computer games. In real life, a goal's a goal. And then you can forgive him for the first one. There's 10 players supposed to protect that goal. He's come through them. He's the last man. They've beaten, fair enough. But for the second goal, they've already done it once. He's come out. He's tried to protect his right-hand side. Thinks it's going to come in off the post. You know, sorry, let me just have a look. It was Ceballos. You guys know I'm no good at saying the names. Who puts it through for Nekatar. He goes to protect the right-hand side, and it comes straight across his path to be tapped in. Again, exactly the same style of goal as the first one. Come on, guys, you're laughing. Correct me. But I would blame Fabianski for the second goal. He should have learned from his mistake the first time.
What do you think?
I'm a Cockney, so I can't speak properly, and I've had a few single malts, so that's my excuse. And I'm also at the point where I don't care how I pronounce them. So,
listen, do we walk out of this game? I mean, how do we walk out of this game today? Do we walk out there with our heads held high, or can we are we disappointed more than anything? Look,
basically, in a nutshell, played well, shit result. That is in a nutshell. And in fact, but it was one of those. I don't care. It's one of those games that could have gone either way. We had segments of the game where we looked dominant. They had segments of the game where they looked dominant, and it was to and fro. And unfortunately for us, it was one moment where we let it slip, and they've capitalised. But that's what a top team does. We're playing away to a top team, and until that last second of the game, that last 90 minutes, you have to be on the ball all the time, and we weren't, and we got punished for it. But fundamentally, we played really, really well, and that's all I can ask of my team. That's all I can ask of West Ham or any fans can ask the teams that they try and do their best, and they did. And we were simply unlucky. Possibly could be down to our fault in the end, but you give me that every week, and I'll happily watch West Ham with a smile on my face because it ain't about the result right now. We got to perform. We got to get some performances out of this just to keep the morale going, you know. But it was unlucky. He played well. It was unlucky.
Well, listen, I'm going to have a look at some of the stats of the game. So you can see here, Arsenal's final stats possession was 62.8% to West Ham's 37.2. Total shots, West Ham 14 to Arsenal 7, on target 3. Each off target 6, 5 and 3. 5 were blocked for West Ham. On the attack, clear-cut chances, 2 each. West Ham's cross rate, success rate was 25%, and then 45% dribble rate success. I mean, it's not stats we normally read in terms of attempts, especially away from home. I mean, that's the one thing I've noticed, that when we are playing since Project Restart, that we are taking and shooting or trying to take chances. So, there's been several games where we've been doing a lot of build-up play and never actually turned anything into a chance, but we definitely are now. And that's why I think as West Ham fans, we're kind of reasonably confident in going forward and getting goals. But we still do have problems. And I know you said, look, that defensively tonight we looked a little bit more solid, and I can't disagree with you if I'm being brutally honest, but it's definitely an area that we need to strengthen 100% and try and push on for the season. But yeah, fundamentally, it does come down to the fact that we need to buy players and we need to have depth in that squad. And we currently don't have. You can look at the bench tonight though, and say that there is depth there. Look at that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
Listen, we've got really tough fixtures coming up. We've got Hull on Tuesday night. We're going to do a preview for the Hull game. I kind of forgot that we had the Hull game, so there was an element of someone had put in the comments earlier on that maybe they thought that this was maybe the last chance for the players to show what they've got from Moyes. Moyes, knowing that he's got 2 cup games in the space of 2 weeks, will give the same team a run out who played against Charlton, against Hull. And if they perform with momentum, then moving into the next game, we may see some of the changes that fans are looking to see. Because fundamentally, again, like you said, substitutions was key tonight, in my opinion, and they came a bit too late. Again, any points you guys want to make on that?
I think the players done well. You can't really blame anyone. I mean, I know I've touched on Fabianski coming out, but subs made the game. By the time, what Arsenal made their first sub on, was it the 65th minute? I'm just scrolling through now. And then the 77th, for the player's name I cannot pronounce, he was on 9 minutes. He scored. It wasn't until he scored or just before we scored. We made our first sub on the 85th minute.
Yeah.
That was our first sub, It was a fresh legs, being able to make space for themselves, being able to outpace everybody else that had been playing for 85, 90 minutes. That made a difference today. So I think the lads can hold their heads high. They went in, they played well, they tried. That was let down by the manager not making the substitutions. So looking at that, how we held off, and the stats that you just shown against Arsenal, we've got some tough games coming up. But the games we've got coming up, forgetting cup games, we've got Wolves, Leicester, Spurs, City, Liverpool. They will not be thinking. Any other time they'll be thinking, it's West Ham. Let's play 3 up front. Now they're thinking, we've got to defend. West Ham played really well against Arsenal. We can't take the piss here. We've got to take this game seriously. We can't go in and play, 3-5-3.
Yeah. Listen, before we go
sit back with a 4-4-2. It's tonight has been psychological for games to come, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get through some of the comments then before we head, guys, and then we will call it a night because we've got loads of shows coming up this week again. Bonnie Hammer is saying, I think Moyes sets his teams up well against big teams, but then when we do well, he lacks the courage to go for them, and good teams have quality up front that often get them out of trouble. 100%, mate. Totally agree with you there. Smeagol 316, Moyes is so incompetent, always waits until the last minute to make subs. He'll never learn. But he does make subs really late, and it's a ongoing.
Incompetence harsh.
What?
Incompetent is harsh.
I don't know. I agree with that. Lee WHUFC. If Arsenal is going for top 6 and we played better than them, surely we should be pushing for 10th, 11th. What do you guys think?
Don't call me Shirley.
I think personally, I think we should be challenging for that position. But I really fear that a mixture of lack of depth in the squads, some of the decisions that fans, sometimes I think some of the decisions that Moyes should be making are very blatant, but then they just never happen. And I don't know. I feel like I think I said it during Matchday Live, Dan. Pellegrini, the same. Bilic, the same. I'm not putting them all in the same bracket, although it's still the same. Substitutions too late. How many times have we been going on about this? Substitutions are too late. Lee Ansell is a
every
brilliant.
match. Yeah, it is.
Pam-
It's always too late. It's been the same for years, 5 seasons at least. In fact, I think even going back to Fat Sam was too late. He was not substituted early enough. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's just an ongoing problem. Where's it come from? Is it the ball not wanting to put new players on and risking getting injured when they're only going to play 20 minutes, 15 minutes at the big rush of the game? Is it just, I don't know. Are they trying to save? Because the games this season are so close together. They just try not to overplay players. Sorry, Luke. Go ahead, mate.
That's right. I remember Pellegrini making subs at what you would call decent times, but everyone kept making the wrong subs. Like he'd take off a striker when we should be looking to be going forward, or we'd take off a winger when we push on, and it would be like, well, what's he doing that for? And Moyes, I think Moyes done the same thing when he was managing the first time around. But this like tonight for me, I don't think I'd have taken Bowen off. Even if I was going to make a sub, I don't think I'd have taken Bowen off. I think I would have maybe took 4 nails off and put Haller in for 4 nails or something like that. But I think taking Bowen off was a wrong decision. But I do understand people coming from about the subs time and stuff like that.
Bonnie Hammer's come in again saying Moyes will never gamble to win a game. I've backed Moyes, but his negativity will be his downfall. Lee, don't call me Shirley. Linda Smith, hope you're well. Lee's apologising. Sorry, Pam. Am I the only one who thinks the Antonio trick has been worked out? He's not a Premier League striker. Bonnie, I don't know, mate. I don't know. That's 9 goals in 9 games he scored. He's at. Did you actually know he's in West Ham's top 10 of Premier League goal scorers?
He could have had 3 tonight easily. He's hit the post. Yeah. He's had a lucky save. Keeper almost went the wrong way, but it hit his legs.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be better not as a lone striker because he gets
support.
He gets swamped by defenders. Defenders know he's going to score. They know he's going to take his chances. And if we was to play 2 up top, which Haller needs, then it splits how many defenders can get around each player.
Yeah. Bonnie's saying, I love Antonio. He cannot trap a ball and keep it alone. Striker had to keep the ball. That David saying sloppy, lack quality. I wouldn't say tonight was sloppy.
I disagree strongly.
I don't know if he's talking about one player.
I think it's about Masuaku, I think.
Masuaku. No. He had a great game, but I feel Anderson or Lanzini might have had a better game.
Cheers, Neil.
Yeah. Nice hope you're well. Hope you're well, Neil. Let's just see here. De Gea's back. Shame about the penalty, mate. That was still unfair. I'm on your side for that one. Skizzle base. It's been a while, mate. Yeah, hope you're well. Sad to lose a game. We could have had very worst have drawn. More optimistic than I should be. You certainly are. Actually, it's been a while since you've been on. What's a couple more comments and then we'll head for the night. Hold on a minute. What's this one? Dan, don't give us hope, mate. That's what kills us. GSB out.
It's not me. It's the Scotch talking.
GSB out. Moyes got it right today. Starting 11 formation and style of play. We played off the bench players. We would have got batters as they're all flair players and lazy. There's an element of what you're saying I agree with, but there is an element that I think today would have worked. The balance between the two would have worked well with substitutions at right times. Anyone disagree or agree?
No, yeah, I know it's coming from.
He should have come in early, fresh legs. Too little, too late. Even if he'd made 3 subs in the last 15 minutes of the game, bringing on Haller, bringing on Yarmolenko, bringing on Anderson, would have made a massive impact to that game.
Yeah. Right. Last comments anyone wants to make?
Bring on Wolves. I'll take Wolves after that.
Hull first.
Hull. Bring on the youngsters for Hull. And also, before he says it, subscribe. There we go.
Like, comment, do all that sort of shit.
Are we doing a watch along? Are we live for Hull?
Yeah, we are.
We are live for Hull.
I'm a bad fan.
You know where to find us.
For that.
You do. Well, listen, what days today? We're Saturday today, so tomorrow night you've got West Ham Weekly with Stell. Stell reappears on the channel. He's disappeared a lot recently.
Oh,
he's a little bit under the thumb. We all know that. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night for his West Ham Weekly. Monday night we'll come to you with a preview for the Hull game. Tuesday night we'll have the match day live. And then the rest of the week, I literally have no idea what's going on. So we'll keep you up to date as we go along. Anyway, I've been Anton. He's been Luke. He's been Dan. West Ham got beat 2-1. Disappointing. Should have got something from today's game. but it didn't happen. Subscribe, like, and get a comment in, and we are Irons United. Come on, West Ham.